Dag, Devin Hester had more yards as a receiver.
Still here.
I was like, shut up.
You know what?
He's talking.
I don't think the music's playing through there. Do-do-da-do-do-do.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. What's up, y'all? There we go. Dog, it's just what is going on? Everybody just
What's
talking
happening?
behind it. I don't know. Hey, appreciate y'all. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. I have no idea what's going on out here. Studio's on fire. What are you doing with your hands?
Don't know what to do.
Okay,
It's
don't know what to
It's
do with
kids'
your
fault.
hands.
There we go.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. We got the squad in the building. Yeah. All right, boys. Chicago Bulls out here today doing absolutely god dang nothing. When I say nothing, I mean less than something. Literally made.
No, he did something.
What did he do?
He did something. He gave us 1,001 excuses.
That might be true.
He gave us 1,001 excuses. Hard-hitting questions.
Hard-hitting
Hard-hitting questions.
Hard-hitting
Casey
questions.
Johnson had a real good one.
excellent questions.
Some good questions. I thought the press got after him a little bit.
Yeah.
So
He told us Lonzo would be here.
I got to talk. I mean, listen, he doesn't have a choice at this point. He didn't trade him or use his mid-level exception. But got to talk about what the Bulls didn't do. Also talk about some of the stuff around the Bears. DJ Moore all in on his quarterback. We knew that was coming, but
Yeah.
right, like I guess what implications that kind of means off of that for the future of the QB. Maybe it changes something in the front office. I think we knew that the team supported him though. And then Hall of Fame talk. We got to clap it up real quick. Clap it up for the 3 Hall of Famers, 3 Chicago Bears Hall of Famers, ladies
Let's
and
go.
gentlemen.
Bear down, baby.
Devin Hester,
Yep.
the man that we've been waiting for. Steve Mongo McMichael, the man that should have been in years ago. And
Facts.
of course,
Shout out to him.
Yep.
Julius Peppers. We counting Julius? Julius got 4 years here. We count Julius?
Okay. I mean,
No.
yeah.
He a bear?
No,
Julius a bear?
no.
You
He
can't
should go
say
in
no.
as-
You're not a part of the culture. Get out of here. You don't say no. There ain't no back there. Get out of here, dog.
4 years.
It's the no in the back.
4 years we give it to him.
I mean, he is a Panther more so than the Bear, but we'll take it.
Technically, he played longer with the Packers, I believe, than he did with the Panthers.
Oh, we don't count then.
Yeah. Let's get
How
that.
many
Nope.
years did he play
Nope.
with the Panthers? I want to say he played like 6 years.
No,
with the
he
Packers.
played. No,
I think he played 5
I
years
think he
with
played
the
more with
Hold on,
Carolina.
here we
So-
go.
3
Fact
years.
check.
Somebody no. he
Where's
can't,
Stat guy?
it was
Stat
more than-
guy.
Stat
Yeah,
guy.
yep.
Anyway,
I'm on it. I'm on it.
we got the squad in the building. We got the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid, as always, rocking with us, man. The super producer Joel Holt.
What's happening?
And of course, in the back, we got Jordan JC and the man formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan
J.
Don. Trying to hide in that Bears hat back there. We see you. You're not really part of it.
The Bears.
But trying to claim our Hall of Famers. Who's a Hall of Famer? Who's not? You can't tell us what to do. But no, man. Let's start it off with these
We got
Bulls
LT,
team, man.
who's our best player?
This Bulls team right now, I mean, like a lot of question marks. They stand pat at the trade deadline. I don't understand really, I guess, what the direction of this team is. I don't even know if they really want to build around the young pieces that they have here, because in theory, if you'd want to build around the young pieces you have, you would move some of the veteran pieces out of the way. But we heard AK talk, and he says they want to stay competitive. Competitive is his new word, not continuity in this press conference. Competitive
It's a different seat.
was his new word. And I mean, honestly, right, like
Same amount of letters.
here's the okay. Let me make a case for what AK is saying, and y'all let me know if it's complete BS.
Okay.
Right? Because there is a rhyme or reason to, I guess, the argument that he has. The Eastern Conference right now, as he said, is bunched up. He's got the games wrong. I believe the Bulls are 4.5 games back, but the Eastern Conference right now is but 4.5 games back from the 6th seed, I should say. Yeah. The
Right.
Eastern Conference, though, is bunched up right now. If the 6th seed is your goal, I guess, right? Young team coming up, all of that.
Mhm.
Over the last 2 months of basketball, the Chicago Bulls are 18-13. In comparison with that, the Milwaukee Bucks are 20-12 right now over the last 2 months. Similar, right? Bucks have played more games in that time, so similar records in that sense. And they're all the way at the top. But Boston's not even a talking point on that. They're like 20-5 over the
Runaway
last 2
train.
months. It's ridiculous right now. In the month of January, and I'm comparing it to Milwaukee because Milwaukee's probably right where I would assume most people are looking outside of just the best of the best in the division. Milwaukee in the month of January is 9-10. The Bulls went 9-8. You can look at that and say, outside of the first month of basketball where Zach LaVine basically said, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be a part of this team. And the team took a nosedive. And then when he goes out, Kobe White takes over as more of a leadership role. You start to see the team move in the right direction. The last 2 months of basketball, you've won at almost a 60% clip. Does it feel like you're actually building towards something that can sustain winning at a 60% clip? If you just add a few pieces on here and there, buyout market pieces, I would assume Joe Ingles is going to be somebody the Bulls look to add for shooting, or not Joe Ingles. Which Joe is
Joe
available?
Harris.
Joe Harris. The Bulls look to add for shooting. Same dude, white, shoots threes. Balding. Balding.
We're not going that way. We're not going that route.
I can get there. I can get away with it. Let me show my ID. Half and half, baby, half and half. But no, I just like, is that something where you look at the team and say, I can see why you wouldn't want to go the other direction? Because he didn't say that he doesn't want to get better. What he said is, we don't want to make trades that force us to take a step back.
I think that's true. And if you look at the trade package, like look at the trade package we were actually involved in, we weren't going to get the pieces that many people on Twitter or even in this chat thought we were going to get. Zach LaVine was still not going to get traded. I mean, he can't get traded at this point.
He's hurt now, yeah.
He's hurt. You weren't going to get the pieces you wanted for DeMar DeRozan. When you look at everything that was going on with him, we probably getting the same player back. Everyone was talking about Tobias Harris being in that. The same guy. Same guy,
yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah.
Right? You weren't getting that back. No, I there was nothing that made us better. Nothing that put us over the top.
There was nothing that would have put
us
you
there.
in moving in the right direction.
It's too late. Any moves that you could have made should have been made maybe a year or two ago. It's like we're just stuck.
Because you're here and there.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's too late.
Well, the move that they could have made, I mean, it was kind of taken aback because Zach LaVine got injured. Like if we're talking about the
realistically,
trade,
the trade that New York made is the trade that Chicago was going to make.
Exactly. You know, and the whole talks behind Detroit Pistons possibly giving them, well, I think Bojan Bogdanovic went somewhere else now.
He went to New York.
I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. The trade
for,
that New York made for Bojan was what the Bulls were going to give Zach up.
Yeah, but I don't think they wanted the other piece because they wanted one of their young core players,
Yes.
and I think they New York got back.
We wanted Ivy.
Can't remember his name, but the second player that they accepted back.
Alec Burks.
Alec Burks, thank you. Yeah, it wasn't one of those four core pieces where you had Jalen Duran, Jaden Ivey, Thompson, or Cade Cunningham. But I mean, the Bulls are doing the same exact thing that they've been doing every single year. I'm not surprised. I'm not even angry anymore. Like this is where Bulls fandom is. Like we have to accept the fact that this organization is okay with mediocrity. They're okay with just being, like we mentioned before earlier. I heard that you say they fill seats, like we're the best in attendance in the league,
Number one,
constantly, year in and year out, probably. And so it starts at the top. They're not caring about the product because the product is good enough to bring attention to the team and make money.
This is my problem, right? So like, y'all know, like I'm not even a Bulls fan, but at the same time, like I want the
he say
like
we a lot.
I want
you
the
French
fans,
now. He say we a lot.
I want the fans of
Just on the Chicago
to have something to be proud of.
Doesn't
But
like no
listen, like
Chicago team.
this front office the whole entire front office are a bunch of liars. You said that once you first came in, like, oh, we don't want to settle for mediocrity. It's like I told Pat this morning, like outside of Vooch, DeMar Alonzo, and Alex Caruso, you haven't done anything. Like you just sat on your hands the entire time. Everybody else has made moves. You have literally done nothing. And his whole thing about just wanting to be competitive, you just trying to get up to 6. If six is only going to get me to the playoffs and not winning me championships, what are we doing? Because now, on top of that, you have a situation where you have DeMar that wants to be here, you got a Vooch that's here, and then you got a Zach LaVine that possibly wants to be traded, and then you turn around. Now, you possibly have a situation where either DeMar walks or you overpay.
If I could say he lied about anything, he lied about the whole Zach LaVine comments.
Yeah.
That was just lying through his teeth.
What?
The Zach LaVine
Zach
should
LaVine
be a
is-
part of our team.
and we're better with.
Yeah.
You didn't believe. I didn't believe a word he said about
was
that.
code for
You lied
that was
to
code
my
for
face.
I was
Uh-oh.
told I couldn't trade him, so
Couldn't
couldn't trade him. So he's a very valuable piece. We there's no way we can move
Here's
on.
the thing, though, right? Like you would hope that
CAP.
this has a CAP. You would hope this has a Jalen Johnson effect. You would hope that this has I'm going to go out there. I'm going to find a deal that makes me look good, that I'm going to go out there and, yep, everybody wants me. The Lakers want me. The Clippers want me to. Well, y'all go. Hey, wait, hey, hello?
Nobody's
Guys?
Guys,
Hello? Anybody out there?
Oh God.
Okay. Right? Like you would hope that this has that kind of effect on Zach LaVine moving forward, where he realizes where his value in the league is. And it's not quiet to him. Don't sit there and let him, right? Like if he's like, I don't hear the noise, he knows that teams don't believe he's a winning player. He's legitimately the losingest player in the NBA. Teams look at those things and they say whether they want or don't want you. And so because of that, I feel like you may have a situation where, yes, your team does get better with Zach LaVine, but not if you bring back the same Zach LaVine. Your team may get better if Zach LaVine's the guy that goes out there and says, all right, Kobe, it's your show. I'll play off of what you do.
That's a shame that he's lost at every single level. At every single stop in the NBA.
Who?
Zach LaVine. He's
Zach
never
LaVine.
been a part of a winning culture anywhere.
Oh yeah.
UCLA
That's
wasn't
crazy.
good, and then when he went to Minnesota, he was the third option behind Andrew and
And
Cat.
they had a horrible
They had a
record.
decent season where they made the playoffs, I think, when they were in their primes, but then they didn't go anywhere still.
And he was hurt didn't he? get
Yeah,
hurt?
that was
He
that
was
was
hurt.
yeah,
That's the
right
year
after he was
towards
hurt.
ACL. He was cooking.
Yeah, so he wasn't even there.
No, he got hurt. I think he got hurt after.
He
but
wasn't
yeah.
even really there.
Yeah.
Oh, dad, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, he's never been a part of legitimate
Jesus.
winning. And it's sad, right? But it's like, listen, okay, you want to be a part of winning. You say that winning means the most to you. Bet you're the number 2 now. You're making $250 million. You're locked in. Your contract's set. Nobody's paying you less. You're getting $40 million, and you get $46 million, and you get by the end of it, you're getting $50 million.
That's crazy.
That's actually not. Wait till you see some of these contracts.
I've
That's
seen
why
them. I mean,
that's
Jalen
why I
Wilson
keep
is
telling
getting
y'all.
Easy
Hey,
money.
No, the
hey,
money
market
is
is
open.
the market
They-
is middle of the
They
road.
gonna have a tough time. The old heads gonna have a tough time
we're
when they
seeing
start
it.
handing out some of these
56
contracts.
million is
We
like
see it now.
average.
Yeah.
Jalen
Yeah.
Brown just got $60 million and can't go left.
60.
I know.
And can't go left, bro. Like, I'm
that's
not
gonna
gonna
be
lie
a-
to you, dog. Like the old head's gonna have a tough time with the percentages when that stuff comes in.
It's
But
not, but that's not relative. It's not that. It's just that the game has changed. When you've grown with the game, when they didn't make anything, and it was a big deal at the time when like Mike got 33 and 31 and 33. It's just now that the NBA is become more global, and now the seeds that were planted in the 90s have come to fruition that these guys are making money.
Fun fact: if you account for inflation, Mike until like the last 2-3 years was still the highest paid player in NBA history.
Yeah, well, he deserves.
If you account for inflation,
who was that fun for?
oh, I'm just letting people know. You know.
But no, I
letting
honestly, I think
There you
it's
have it, homeboy.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. I don't know, man. Like I look at this team. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're going to go on this amazing run. Like, here's the thing. If they finish the season at the winning percentage that they're at right now, about a 60% winning percentage, that's 18 games. You finish the season 42-40. Congratulations, you're average.
Oh, congratulations. You did the same thing you did last year.
But you finished it at a 60% winning percentage while starting at a 26% win percentage through your first 20 games.
That sounds like you're making this case for like this. It sounds like we are like he's having his mid-year review and like he's
I mean,
trying
he
to
kinda
make
is.
his case as to why he should stay. But in all actuality, it's still not the product that we were promised. It's not the forecast that you wanted expected, and there was no moves to mitigate it and make it better in the meantime. But you also can't get any of those pieces because you pigeonholed yourself.
Well, yeah, and I think it's about what they want too. That's the problem with the Bulls right
Look,
now.
we
right?
were in trouble when they re-signed the coach.
Billy Donovan.
That's pretty much what we're going to be stuck with.
Were we really though?
Yeah.
Because Kobe White looks a lot better.
Kobe White, everybody was writing him off up until this year. He was not doing.
That's called development.
And Billy played him. And Billy played him.
That's called development.
I need a blue sound effect. That's what I need.
Sound effect.
Oh, I didn't know that.
he's like, oh, we
You
can't
got
give
the-
Billy
you got
Donovan
the-
any credit.
ah.
Yeah, Kobe White
Oh,
development.
yeah.
Can I do this though? Can I throw some shade even though I'm like reaching at this point? It seemed like he forgot P. Will. He mentioned Julian Phillips way before he mentioned P. Will.
Oh yeah, no,
He did.
And I think he went because he was
No, but
injured,
according
it
to
was
Pat,
like-
according to Pat, we wait on P. Will another 2 years. He's going to finally develop the well he's
Oh, no,
supposed
no.
to be.
Oh, no. Listen, I was
He's trash.
fine with.
He's trash, and that's a bust.
No,
Okay.
And I stand by my
I don't
Pat,
think
man.
I think the moves they didn't make tell you that. I think that the moves that they didn't make tell you that. The fact that you sat there and kept DeMar DeRozan and he's in front of Patrick Williams. I think the fact that you're sitting there with a you know,
can't get rid of him now.
why can't you? Who, DeMar?
Yeah.
Well, now you can't get rid of him now, but what I'm saying is the fact that you held on to him past the trade deadline while trying to stay competitive means that you don't believe Patrick Williams helps you be competitive.
I think he's a safety net for Zach LaVine not being there for the rest of the season.
Nah,
I think that's the only reason he's there. You have no Zach, and Zach would make up the difference for your 20 points a game if they traded DeMar. They need somebody.
No, we
no, you
just
don't.
we
No, you
need
don't.
we need
We got to
Lon-
go back to 500.
we need Lonzo back. They want this team. This team is built how it's been built. It is cemented in. That's it. Outside of that, you have to give all these guys away and get nothing basically for them. Get bad draft picks. I mean, try to get in the lottery again. Like that's it. No one's coming here. We're not trading anybody. There's no one of the only person that we would all probably want is Ant-Man from Minnesota.
No, they ain't
Oh,
happening.
you ain't getting rid of
I'm
him.
saying the only person we would want, like in the league at
I
a
want
certain
Giannis.
age.
I
to
want
build-
Giannis.
Giannis,
If
I
that's
mean,
possible.
Giannis is cool, but I'm saying we're talking about a
No.
new cornerstone of the team.
What you mean? The only person that we would want.
I'm saying at a certain age. I'm just saying
I feel what you're saying.
thank you.
I
Kid.
get what you're saying.
I honestly don't get what you mean. Like
I'm
what-
saying there's nobody in the league. Like if we were to trade for, give everything up to get the cornerstone of our team. Like
I mean,
it's
it's
one
one
thing
thing. His name.
like we can't. It'll be great to draft the future, but we don't pick high enough typically to get that guy and
Yeah.
to have someone to build around. So it's just it is what it is. We're stuck with this
or
team.
we don't pick well enough. Real quick, I do want to give some kudos to the one thing that I was impressed by in the presser is the questions that were asked. The media kind of put him a
Hard
little bit in the
questions.
spotlight, and specifically there was one that impressed me was Darnell Mayberry when he asked him that he said the fans were clearly upset and feel like they want to boycott you and the team. And so a subjective way to look at it is, are you fielding a competitive team that is not the best, but is also not the worst? Are you doing enough to appease your bosses? So I mean, straight out, he was like, "Hey, are you doing what what Jerry Reinsdorf is telling you to do, or Michael is telling you to do, and just kind of keep this team consistent with where you all have been and being mid?" So I really like them just being straightforward and attacking in a
But
sense that way.
But you know
we
what?
knew that though. Like that wasn't as if
I know
any
we
Bulls
knew
fan-
that, but
if any Bulls fan is surprised today, you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
At all.
Because how long have I been saying they're building this like Denver?
yeah,
Denver was competitive for 25 years,
And
and they found two superstars in that time.
also though,
Yeah.
you gotta. I mean, look, it's still a business to them. Like sometimes you have to separate the fandom from the business. Like everybody is so passionate about this. At the end of the day, this is a group that has a facility that rents it, that makes money every night. When they're after the 82 games, we have concerts being sold.
Yeah.
We have all these things being sold for this venue. So yes, we have a great team. As long as we're making a profit, because remember the owners get what 51% of the profit, something like that. 52, the players get 49
From
or
the stadium.
Oh,
No, I'm saying
total
the-
revenue share.
the way
Total
that
rev share.
the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
the way it works. So
51
the players
yeah.
split that portion, but the owner only they get their large share. So as long as they're making money, they're fine.
that's
And
what it matters.
what I
thought
don't
the
like
players
is that
got
it
the
turns
lion's share this
into,
time.
unfortunately, it's like how the Cubs were for years, eons, and that. But see, Chicago people, the owners are taking advantage, in my opinion, of the fan base. They know that the fans we love our sports, and they know they're going to come and
Yeah.
come to
Yeah.
these, come spend some money, things of that nature. And it's just disappointing because it's clear that when, like, for some, now the Bulls kind of got it right where they built the team in the 90s and they built that. I feel like the Bears, they tried to do that, but they got fortunate, right? And it's kind of like they don't understand, like it's like understanding the business.
Yeah.
The Bulls, I think now it's like in their mind, As long because remember their big campaign after Mike and all them left, it was like we had 10 sellouts. We had sellouts for 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
They actually had an advertisement that said, "Let's keep the streak going." It's like, how about just? I don't want to see Brent Berry.
Right. You know what I mean?
I don't want to
That's
see
the
Khalid
attraction.
El-Amin. I don't want to see that. I want to bring the glory days back.
I think the difference is though, right? And this is just what it is. You have to have the best player in the NBA.
Or
at
one
least
of
the
them,
top five.
or a
Yeah,
good
have a
team.
top
one
five,
of them,
top 10
definitely.
player.
And you don't just get that. Right? The Bulls got lucky one year where the NBA basically gave it to us. Right? Like we got Derrick Rose and we had a top 5 player in the NBA.
And he got hurt.
And his
He got
knees went
hurt.
out.
He got hurt.
We no longer have a top 5 player in the NBA.
Yeah.
And no matter where basketball goes, no matter how far basketball changes and all these things, you need top 5 players.
Somebody said Walt Lippmann Jr.
You just do, right? Like at the end of the day, you have to find a way, and it is a matter of luck. And so this is why I will say this. I don't mind the Bulls trying to stay competitive. What I do mind is you not continuing to make moves to at least attempt to move forward. Do something to improve the team. Make something happen that makes the team better. Find some young stud that is going to be able to go out there and develop. Now, you got Kobe White developing. I think Ayo Dosunmu was having a very bounce back year from his sophomore slump. Yeah, he's playing really well this
I was
season.
doing good. Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why you also look at it. And here's the thing. I'm upset just like all of Bulls Nation. I'm not defending AK for doing nothing. I'm not defending AK for not picking a position. I think you could have further gone down the youth movement by moving on from Andre Drummond and bringing up Adama Sanago and allowing him to play. By the way,
Yes.
84 in the building, 18 likes on the video. Hit that like button, man. Stop playing with us right now.
You see how they treat us when we talk about the Bulls?
Oh, yeah. Nobody cares about the
You
Bulls
see
right
how they
now.
treat us when they talk about the Bulls?
Nobody
It's
cares.
crazy
Yeah, Pat, I don't
right
know
now.
why you
We
wanna
could
leave
have
it this
made
topic.
up
Going
something
steady.
about Justin Fields right now. Have 500 people.
That's
watching.
why. Listen, I'm about the integrity of the show. I'm not going to sit here and just make up some BS.
Well, you're
so
gonna
we can
die
just
on
get
that
likes.
hill, buddy.
That's all right.
I will say this though.
I can talk Lakers every day.
People
I
will
think-
respect
Or
it.
Dallas Cowboys.
I won't be here.
Goodbye.
The only thing I would say, and it's not to be a contrarian on it, is the league is more about parity now than it's ever been. The Cavaliers are the second best team in the Eastern Conference right now. They don't have a top 5 player.
The Cavs? No, they don't
The
have a
Knicks
top
don't
5
have
player.
a top 5 player. So on the flip side,
Yeah,
if you
but
don't
neither
have a
of them
top
are gonna
5
win.
player, well, we know that part. So you mean to win the
That's
championship?
the point.
To
Yeah, I
win a
mean, like,
championship.
I'm
I give
talking
you
about
that.
to win a championship.
They're just
you
a
need
better
top five.
competitive
But I
team,
think,
but no, they
when
don't
you
have
say
a better player. No.
competitive, these teams are competitive and they have one thing in common: good coaching. The Cavs have a good coach.
JB
The Knicks have a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
The Sixers
Wait
have
a
a
minute,
good
wait
coach.
a minute, wait a minute, wait
Told
a
you.
minute, wait a minute, wait a
Told you
minute,
the Knicks
wait
have
a
a good
minute.
Cavs do have a good
Wait
I
a
don't like
minute.
them. I
Wait
don't
a
like them.
minute.
I
I know
am not-
dang
I
well
agree.
you
I
not
do have
saying
a good
Tom
coach.
Thibodeau is a good coach. This man say
Whoa, whoa,
Tom
whoa.
Thibodeau waste players, messed up
Hey, He
careers.
definitely said that.
Yeah.
Hold
Now
on.
he's a good coach.
What you gotta say about
I
that,
do
kid?
believe he
What
wastes
you gotta
players.
say?
I do believe he wastes
Kid,
players.
what you gotta say right there?
I do believe he wastes players. I do not like him as a coach. I do believe Derrick Rose is hurt, and he took Derrick Rose every stop he could because he hurt him. I do believe that.
Yeah.
He ain't tell him the truth.
Wasted Chris Dunn.
I think
too.
Derrick Rose is hurt because every Chicago player has bad knees.
No, I think
I
he
really
got
do.
hurt because he's playing on
He's
shoes
playing
that
on
weigh
playing on
1 point.
concrete.
Well, you're playing on 1.5 ounce type shoes. There's no cushion. He tore his knees up.
I also think he
grew up playing on concrete.
all Chicago players grow up playing on concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it don't hurt to have like
AD
No
got bad
padding.
knees. Pat Bev has had knee injury.
Jabari Parker has
Derrick
True.
Rose got bad knees.
Jabari
True.
Parker. Did
Every
Jabari
Chicago
Parker.
Jabari Parker
Jabari
got bad
Parker
knees.
had
We all
bad
got bad
knees.
knees.
Dwayne Wade
Dwayne Wade got bad
Wow.
knees. Dwayne Wade went a long time. No,
Yeah.
I broke that down a minute ago. Yeah.
Hey, three rings.
Miami
three
saved his life.
3 rings.
Miami saved his life. They got him young enough to
That
save
heat-
the
that
knee.
heat-
Hey, he did.
Hey.
I'm still sick. We got Michael Beasley.
But look at this though. For real though. Look at the teams in the East.
Shout out
Going
to
from
my
the
dad, Ron
Celtics
Hope.
down to the Bulls. It's only one team where you'd be like, I don't know about that coach. And that's Orlando.
Nah, because I think to me, I honestly
In fact,
believe
who is Orlando's coach?
exactly.
Like,
No, to me, here's the thing. I was having this debate with Joe the other day. I think you got your top coaches in the league, maybe 2 or 3 of them.
Bro, I got bad knees. I grew up in the suburbs.
You still hooped outside.
They're okay.
Wherever there's a
It's more
concrete
about hooping
court.
outside. Yeah, I mean,
I learned that later in life.
Jalen Brunson can claim Chicago, but he grew up in Rockford, right? He was hooping indoors. That's why them knees are lasting.
No, he's just short.
No, he's a dog. I ain't gonna lie.
He's short.
I never forget that man threw them. He never mind. I think it was Lake Zurich. He gave
Pause.
He
What
gave
you
Lake,
said,
he gave Lake Zurich 65, and then gave the crowd the middle fingers and everything. Oh, it was crazy.
I remember that.
Oh yeah, he was hooping in high school. But anyway,
It's the crate rims.
it's the crate rims. That's crazy, Jesus. But no, I feel like there's not a lot of elite coaching in the NBA. To me, NBA talent is 70-30. Like 70% all on the players, 30% on the coaches. Everybody's a good coach. Nick Nurse is not a great coach.
I disagree with that one.
What did he do for 4 years when you took
They
Kawhi
should've
Leonard
been-
off
They
his team?
should have beat the Bulls and they didn't.
I would say Nick Nurse is above average.
He's above average.
Hey,
He's not a bad coach.
He's better than ours.
No,
don't think
absolutely.
he
No,
is.
I would take him in
You
a
don't think he
heartbeat.
is? I don't think
No,
because
he's
here's the
not.
thing. Here's
We
the
don't
thing.
argue with
Here's
that.
the thing.
Cap.
When you gave Billy Donovan great players, he went to great places. When you remove those great players, he ain't been nowhere.
He's got a point.
Nick Nurse had a great player,
But-
and look, this is what they did.
No,
He had prime Russell Westbrook.
You know why?
And prime
Because
Paul
we
George.
just
They
went
made
over
the
this.
Western Conference Finals.
But
we had two prime people.
we just went over
So?
this. Golden State lost two dudes to Achilles and knees in the finals.
That's winning the championship. He still got to a championship.
Okay, but the point is that
The point is getting to
He
a
did have a
championship
player.
is hard to do.
it did help them when they swapped one guy and
And
they went all the way.
listen, they did this. They said, hey, Kawhi, you go over here. All right, Raptors, keep going. 45 wins. Whoa,
I'm gonna be honest with you. To Joe's point, though, this actually blends. He was a good coach, but to win the championship, you needed a top 5
You
player.
needed a top 5 player.
Kawhi Leonard was that
Yes.
top 5 player. But look how far he got without that top 5 player.
He didn't.
He was in the Eastern Conference Final.
No,
What are you talking about?
they did not
They
win.
didn't.
They have not been
got
to the
it.
playoffs since Kawhi left.
No,
No,
before
they went
before
one
that,
year.
they
They
got
went
to it. a
before
couple
They went
times.
1 year. Before that,
They
Nick
went
Nurse
before-
wasn't the coach.
Nick Nurse wasn't the coach. You're right. Dwayne Casey.
Oh,
Dwayne
Casey,
Casey was the
was.
coach.
Yeah.
Dwayne Casey was the
And
coach.
they got rid of
Great
him. He went to
coaches
Detroit.
need
Coach of the
great
year, and then he got
Dwayne
let
Casey
go. The
was.
next
70-30.
No, I agree. I'm not. You know, you got a point, Pat. All right, let's move on to football.
It's, no,
He just give up like that. Like, all right, let's talk Bears.
He wants to
See
get back
the
to his
hat, don't
comfort
you?
zone. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Get back to his comfort
he didn't
zone.
watch one game. But
What did I miss?
hey,
What did I miss?
but I've been-
Am I wrong? I've been right the whole time.
He's been able. Here's the funny part. Y'all think I'm joking. Joel is not watch. He might have watched 2 because I was over his house. So he's probably watched 2 Bulls
Background
games.
TV.
And to be honest with you, he probably just like glanced over and was like, "Oh, they're winning!" Like legitimately, right? Like he didn't actually focus on any of the games.
No,
Unless
did.
I told you, you wouldn't know that he hadn't watched any games, and that's the problem with the Chicago
It's
Bulls.
the same
We're
thing.
4 years into this, and he can have the same conversations we're having
Because it's called
because
experience.
it's the same team.
It's experience. You already know what's going to happen. You see the heart. You can see the heart in certain players. You see what they're doing. It's like they're not going nowhere.
Well, that's
he don't
different.
have it.
Here's the thing. That
He
is
don't
what
have
that
it.
is what has changed this year, and that is why I am not that I'm okay with AK holding on to these players,
Hold on. Sorry.
but why I look at what's happened today and say I see why you want to not mess things up for what you're building with Kobe White. It's the only bail I'll shoot you because you have a young player right now that is not only the vocal leader, the actual leader on like we haven't had this since MJ, honestly. Kobe White's your vocal leader, he's your best player on the court, he's contributing on every part of the court, and he's actually making the people around him better.
Jay Grizz, listen, all the jokers with bad knees.
Derrick Rose was the best player on the floor, one of the best players on both ends. He wasn't a great defender, but he was a good enough defender, right?
But he
didn't
wasn't
talk.
the vocal leader.
He wasn't the vocal leader. Joakim Noah.
Yeah, Joakim Noah was definitely the heart and soul.
We had Jimmy Butler, who was more of a vocal leader, could play on both ends of the court, but like
He did
they
have
didn't put a
offensive
team
talent.
around him. So I
Yeah.
guess Jimmy maybe is the one you could say is the buffer, but he really didn't make everybody else around him better.
Yeah.
He got that skill when he went to really just Miami.
Miami.
Really.
Yeah.
No, Philly. He led Philly a little bit. They just went away from him.
He led Philly, but they didn't really.
Nah,
they
I
didn't really.
Nah,
I don't know if he made anybody better.
Dissing him,
No, no,
man.
no.
Yeah.
And he was
changed-
cooking. It was like, don't give him back the ball. I was
Hey,
like,
bro. Hey,
the heck?
hey, I'm not gonna lie. If the Minnesota story is true, Jimmy Butler is one of the craziest dudes in the NBA history.
What you mean?
When he had his chest cut out to show that he had the chest of the jersey
I
cut out.
believe
to show
every
that
word he
had
said,
more.
dog.
Oh, I
Yeah.
believe
I
all
believe
of it.
every
Believe
word
all of
he
it.
said,
Yeah, it's
dog.
definitely true.
Hey, y'all finna pay me, and then he had an interview 5 minutes later.
Man came in, threatened everybody and dipped.
Dog, Jimmy's hilarious, bro.
You need me.
Y'all need me. Beat everybody with the backups. He said, what Jeff T said? He said, I was so mad. He said, I want to fight him. But I knew I couldn't win.
And you know what's so crazy? Jeff Teague be looking like a scrub. Like he makes himself look like a scrub
Hey,
in this
Jeff
thing.
Teague could hoop.
And he'll come out here and just ball
Just
out.
start
Like,
killing,
yep.
That's crazy.
He
There's
had,
levels to it.
hey, it did fall off quick though. Jeff Teague was one of them players that it fell off real quick. Like we was just looking around and we was just like, hey, remember he was good?
Hey, I
Like,
think you could see when he stopped caring.
He had a few good years.
You could see
that
when he
last
was
year,
like-
that last year, and who he said, oh, when they was he there when they brought in Trey? No, they brought in Dennis Schroeder when they had drafted
Oh, yeah,
Dennis
yeah,
Schroeder.
yeah.
Atlanta. Yeah.
And he was like, you ain't taking my spot. And he was like, hey, I can't stay in front of this dude.
you can tell. It's like at a certain point, he was like, I'm just a role player. I'm here to collect the check.
Yeah. Oh, and then when he won in Milwaukee, he said,
was a
he
wrap.
said, I knew we was losing every series. And we just kept winning. He said, I was the loudest one cheering at the end.
Man got a ring for nothing.
Hey, man, there's a lot of players like that. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button.
Jay
Subscribe to the
Grizz
page.
is still listing
What he
players.
said?
He's been listing all players with bad knees from Chicago. Now he's Antoine Walker.
Hey, that's what I've been
Corey
looking at this
Maggette,
whole time.
and Randall Lell.
Hey,
Bro,
I
oh, he
swear,
said, oh no,
that's
they
what I've been
did.
looking at. I'm like,
I
Oh,
really-
they didn't have bad knees. I'm sorry, I read that fast. Too
He
bad.
said all the players who didn't have bad knees
He's
from
been listing
Chicago,
all the Chicago players.
He,
So
he,
Antoine Walker did have a bad knee.
Antoine Walker
Nah,
had
nah,
bad
nah,
knees.
and a
he-
bad
he
knee.
was
had a
just
bad
not-
Corey
knee.
Maggette had bad knees.
Absolutely, his left knee.
Nah, he was just knock knee. That man was tippy toeing every time taking threes.
Crazy.
He was doing
dog.
what?
Twinkle toes, man.
Jesus,
Okay.
dog.
Hey, this man said tippy.
He
toe.
said tippy toeing for another grown man. That's insane activity.
Hey,
Top
top hat
hat
activities right there. Top hat
I
activities.
think that was a
Kevin
violation.
Garnett,
Yeah,
bro,
What no
yeah,
flag?
hey,
Where's the
hey,
flag
hey,
on
hey,
that?
Garnett
yeah.
was hit like 2
Hey,
That wasn't
2 years.
that wasn't the flag, George.
He ain't
Thank
even
you.
Chicago.
Thank you.
Kevin Garnett was
Time
not
out on y'all.
here long enough to get bad knees, but he was here long enough to get inducted into.
You relax.
Hey,
You
bro.
relax.
He was like 2 seasons
Hey,
that
bro.
Carey was in the league.
Hey, bro, he was here 2 years. And
It
this-
went to the league.
Bro, and this man claimed Lord on everything.
Yeah.
2 years, bro.
Ah, oh Lord.
That goes to show you how infectious Chicago
You know what I
is. That's
mean?
all that
2
is.
years, bro. I don't know, man. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're going to take a quick break. Let's do a word from our sponsors over at Aura, and then we will come back, and for Joel's sake, we will talk football.
Why you gotta be me, man?
Yeah, because you
Everybody.
said, let's go
It's
football.
not
We're
just me.
dying, dog.
Everybody.
We're dying.
Dude,
Chat thing.
we're dying here. We only have 86 people in here.
Yeah, we never talking.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold.
I feel like you're deaf, man.
Woo. What's going on, y'all? How are you feeling? Welcome back to the show. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Joel just had his first sip of Monster. Hey, dog. Hey, Joel is
Jesus.
dying right
His
now.
insides are
It's
burning.
a weird
right now.
aftertaste, man. Ugh.
So we got to talk about this whole DJ Moore situation. But before we do that, NBA buyouts. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Everybody,
you
gonna be,
son of a-
Wait a minute. Spencer Dinwiddie though.
No.
hey man,
God dang it!
Nobody wants
25
Spencer
people in the
Dinwiddie.
chat.
I'd take Joe Harris before Spencer Dinwiddie.
Stop it.
100%.
Stop
3-point shooter.
it.
For
He
what
can't-
we
he
need,
can't
yes,
shoot D.
yes, I agree with that. For
I
what
don't
we
need
need,
him. I need a 3-point shooter.
we need a 3-point shooter.
I need a 3-point shooter.
I agree with that.
Alex Caruso shooting 40% from three.
That's why
He
I'm
can
saying.
shoot. I don't know. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to show love, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Heard DJ Moore today on a couple of different shows down on Radio Row over on out by the Super Bowl. Love that they're out at Radio Row and just supporting his QB. Says basically that he's all in on Justin. He's a Justin Fields advocate. Believes that he saw a ton of growth from Justin post injury, and that that he can only continue to get better if you continue developing with him. Also said, whatever direction. This is the part that a lot of people are leaving out when they're breaking this down. Whatever direction the organization chooses to go, he's going to go with the organization in that direction. But
He prefers.
he would prefer that Justin Fields is the quarterback of the Chicago Bears moving forward. I guess here's my question. Does this move a team, a front office, anything in any way? Because this is not, and I've said this is not
normal.
It's not normal, y'all.
It's not normal.
What we're seeing around the league, find me a player not named Shady McCoy. Because Shady come out aggressive, and I get it, right? Shady come out aggressive, though, and right, like, all right. So find me a player not named Shady McCoy.
Former player?
That thinks, just a player in general. I don't think we've seen a ton of former players. Usually what we hear from former players is the business side of it.
Yeah,
I don't think that you can
Yeah.
continue to build with him if you don't have with
I'm
the
with
time you have
Yeah,
left.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I
You're
mean?
right, you're
With
right.
the time frame. Nobody believes this dude sucks.
Nobody. Everyone says that he's going to be successful.
And I give
Yeah.
you this. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I give you the stats would tell you probably not good. His passing yards per attempt went down this season while getting a better receiver.
Yeah.
And every single player believes this dude can play.
Yeah.
I continue to ask this. What are we missing?
Time.
What are we not seeing? But time is
Time.
something where, here's the thing. Time is something where if Ryan Poles believes that, you could pay for time. Right? If you feel that Justin Fields is on the precipice of break, because everybody cares about the money until it works. Everybody cared about Kobe White getting re-signed here until he started putting up 26 points a game and was like, wait a minute, we got a steal.
That's
Yeah,
part of-
exactly.
that-
No, hold on. But he's had signed for $33 million over 3.
Yeah, but we
You know
all,
what I'm saying?
but very different.
He got scrub money.
But Justin Fields will be, I'm not saying you guarantee long term. I'm saying if you just pick up his 5th-year option, what are we missing here? That every single player's, and DJ Moore being in, I get it. But this is weird at this point.
I'm going to be honest. To me, it's not just time. It's just the simple fact that we have the number 1 overall. That's just it. If we just had the number 9, we're not talking about a QB. I don't believe we are. And I wouldn't be in that conversation. I'd be get Rome on Dunze.
Yeah.
Get MHJ is going to be gone before 9.
Neighbors.
Neighbors maybe, yeah. But because you have the number 1 overall,
Yeah.
and it's such a good QB class, and the money is in and all that,
Hey, bro.
All
because
right.
of all of that,
I thought it started storming.
All right.
What y'all just saw there was us never hearing a storm outside before. Hey, yo, that thunder was rocking, bro. Wait a minute. Are we safe?
What?
I don't know.
That's rain?
Yo,
it
it is
is.
pouring.
Rain. The rain just started,
I was
y'all.
wondering what was happening. I'm like, is that somebody moving a trash?
It's
can?
either rain
What
or
is
somebody
happening
grilling
right now?
steaks.
It's going down.
go
It stinks.
away,
But no, that's it. I don't think anything else. And honestly, that year with Nagy, I think that year with Nagy really did him in.
Yeah, that was a bad story.
He wasn't
That
supposed to start.
Yeah,
He-
but that's
he
it.
wasn't supposed to
That-
play.
But the
that
fact
one
that he
low,
did Nagy didn't
that
put anything
underdevelopment,
to his
stuff like that,
strengths.
we weren't ready. We weren't ready for him. We weren't ready to develop this QB. We are in a better position now than we ever have been. And I get why you would want to keep him for that. But now there's going to be a larger dollar amount tied to that. You can't risk 26 and then whatever that is afterwards. And then you can't risk passing up on resetting your future potentially because of that. It's just a victim. He's a victim of circumstance. I truly believe
that is the
he's a
perfect way to
victim
put
of
it.
circumstance.
It's
Not because I don't like him. I really think he's going to go out and be good, and I want him to be good.
Yeah,
I really do.
I think I'm with Kid, right? Because when I look at this, I mean, it's like Pat said, if every single player is saying this, it's like we got to be missing something. And the thing that I keep going back to is the fact that he has all the intangibles to be great, and every single opponent that the Bears play see that, okay, this dude's out here making Lamar Jackson plays, and it's like to Kid's point, they also at the time the Bears were not ready to develop a quarterback like Justin Fields. But to the flip side of that, it's like Post has pressure on him because how do you justify if you do take Justin missing up on another possible generational QB when you had a Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, or Trevor Lawrence out there? It's tough.
But honestly, but
going-
fellas, it's more. I'm sorry, but it's more about we might just have a great problem in the business. The economics of it just is playing itself out. This is possibly close to a Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees situation. You know, not necessarily based where Brees was hurt. And it was a little easier for them to make that move. We don't know what they're deciding to do out there in Hallis Hall, but we're kind of probably in that situation. Fields is probably a victim because we're seeing a form of he is ascending, growing as a quarterback. People don't necessarily have the patience for him. Some people don't.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the business of football also says there's a big contract coming up too. And we know that people like him as a leader. They like him as an overall person. And he hasn't killed us, you know, especially in down the stretch. But I think it is a victim of we might. I'm sorry, I got the number 1 pick overall.
Yeah,
we got this guy that has some characteristics.
Twice.
Twice. But they needed to build their team, right? And so.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Pat, it's 2 things that stand out to me as to why we possibly are not seeing what other players around the league and people who are evaluating Justin and can see everything from on the field to off the field is the team and talent. And sometimes, you know, because fans and because the league is about instant gratification and seeing these players come in as soon as they drop day one, like with Caleb. All this special talk about him being generational, he better perform as soon as he hits the field.
Yeah,
he doesn't have 3 years to. Yeah, you can't miss. So all of these people, including Justin, have had time to improve. Yet his circumstances hasn't allowed him because we don't have the team around him yet that's built around him. A la Brock Purdy in San Francisco or Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. They don't have the talent yet, and that's why this offseason is so important because you have all of these pieces and all of these picks that you could potentially make if you trade the pick or if you keep it to address the needs on this team.
No, I agree. I think it's good to know that his teammates are behind him in case he does come back, right? But it's also, I think the one thing that I do like that I heard from DJ Moore is that it's not like there's going to be a mass mutiny if you remove this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's the part where, because I'm not going to lie, that was a concern of mine because of how much the locker room is behind him. And what we heard from, I'm blanking on the guest we had on the show, writer, insider, works for the Athletic.
Spielberger?
No.
J-Mac.
Brandon,
oh Jesus! I forgot.
Spielberg. I'm saying the name wrong. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Y'all maybe not. But basically, insider for the Athletic, around the NFL, stuff like that. I'm tweaking on the name right now. It's not that Justin Fields is a part of the culture. Justin Fields is the culture.
Mm-hmm.
You take Justin Fields away from that team, you're building a new culture.
Yep.
You take Justin Fields away from that team, you don't have the same Bears that you had. And maybe that's better. Right? The Bears we got lost. Bears we got are 7-10
and got smoked.
They're ascending. They're growing. You know, this team is building. You know, you got you're dealing with a coach that was making some mistakes. You're dealing with an offensive coordinator making some mistakes. He's still developing. I mean, he has improved as a passer, moderately, not tremendously, but he's definitely been going this way versus regressing as a quarterback and making a lot of
The one thing that I would like to see, and I don't think we're going to get an opportunity to see it, is what effect Shane Waldron would actually have on him. Because Justin Fields does one thing very similar to what Russell Wilson did early on when he was working with Waldron. When Waldron ended up taking over, Russ just, because he's 6'1", he wouldn't attack the middle of the field.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't. He would not throw the football to the middle of the field. And it was a problem because you couldn't, attack downfield. You couldn't pick defenses apart because you weren't attacking that part of the field. That's an issue that Justin Fields legitimately has. There are times where there's nothing schemed to the middle of the field, but there are also times where there's just nothing. There are also times where there's something in the middle of the field and you got DJ Moore clapping. You got Chase Claypool clapping, trying to get your attention to throw the football there.
Yeah.
I would love to see if Shane Waldron could affect that, because that's a spot where I really believe if Justin Fields could get more confident in that, and I do think he got more confident post-injury, to DJ Moore's point, that would be a time where you would start to see him ascend as a quarterback. Because now it's just we can only protect the outsides. Now it's, we got to worry about the middle of the field. We also got to worry about him running. We got to worry about the outsides. Oh, snap, DJ Moore's behind us. Now we got to worry about a deep threat.
I had a conversation with Jay Crit this morning, and we were talking about
Shout out, Crit.
Shout out Jay Crit.
Shout out, Crit.
Super fan.
Super fan.
So the thing is, his issue with Fields is that he doesn't do a good job of anticipating, where he doesn't give the receiver the chance to catch the ball. It's like he waits for him to get open too much. And it's like some things, and I felt like what we just talked about, that's what made me think of this. What we were just saying is that with Waldron coming in, if you do have possibly a creative enough mind of an offensive coordinator that can open the field a little bit more, or design or scheme, do you have the talent or the ability to design something around whatever your quarterback is? Because it doesn't matter if it's Caleb or Justin or Drake May or Jaden Daniels, whoever. You have to tailor the system around the quarterback. And a lot of times these coordinators are more like, this is my system, and this is how we run it, and this is how we're going to do it.
And you can't have it.
And you can't handle it. Yeah. So it's
what? I think actually to that point, I'll say it was an advantage that he went to Ohio State, but I think it's also disadvantages because he had such a great team where you have all these great receivers that are in the league now with Olave and Jigba. Who's the other one that's on New York Jets? That Garrett Wilson. Yeah. Justin Fields had a slew of great receivers and a core of receivers at Ohio State that knew how to get open. That team was creating space every single doggone play, every game. And so Justin didn't necessarily have to work on making sure his timing was right with the throws. I think that's something that has to continue to be learned if we stick with Justin. And I think he'll get better with the talent that comes on this team.
It is true.
That's the learning.
Well, he's our quarterback until he's our quarterback until they trade him.
I'm gonna go back to this one thing, and I think he did play tremendously after coming back from injury.
He had one bad game. The Cleveland game was bad, but also it's pouring rain. Why are we dropping back throwing it 40 times? I'm still confused on that.
That's my issue. Again,
it was a bad game.
You can't blame him for that.
I can,
especially if freaking
I can blame him because Joe Flacco put that bad boy in.
Hey, listen, I can blame him for sailing.
You had a kicker. You had a kicker that muffed the punt that gave Cleveland a short field. You had Tunyon drop at least a surefire 450-yard bomb, maybe not a touchdown. That's not his fault.
I also can blame Justin Fields for throwing it 15 yards over Darnell Mooney's head when he was wide open. I can also blame
that's
Justin
one.
Fields.
That's two.
I mean, there's
well, he threw for 50.
Well.
He threw like 60 attempts. What do you want him to do?
There's blame for Justin Fields as well. It's okay to blame
Justin Fields could do nothing
to be
wrong.
More accurate on the ones that count.
Calm down.
But here's the one thing I will say.
Down, Joe. Down.
He got better after seeing the things that Tyson Bagent could do. Because Tyson Bagent would throw down the middle of the field. He threw some picks.
He couldn't throw. No, he couldn't. He threw in the middle of the field. He threw in the middle of the field. He couldn't throw down the field.
But what I will say, no, he threw down the field.
Nah. He was hitting. He was hitting the tight end. He was hitting Komet.
He had some dots. He didn't have a lot of touchdowns.
The Raiders
he was going in the middle of the field. He was not throwing it down. He wasn't slinging it.
He didn't have a pass in the Raiders game over 10 yards.
Yes, he did. He had two. When it happened, you tapped me.
No. What it was because he was moving down the field.
Whoa.
Hey, yeah, that was crazy.
Whoa.
I'm not gonna
He
lie.
tapped me like
That was insane.
Hey.
hey,
Hey. Nah.
hey,
Nah.
yeah, that was
No.
crazy.
I'm gonna hold that one.
Where's the
I'ma hold
flag?
that
I
one.
think
I'ma hold
y'all,
that
no,
one.
y'all.
Hey, I'm
We
hold
got
that
pulled.
one.
Yeah,
I'ma
that's
hold
two.
that
I
one.
got to take
Hey.
it back.
Anyway,
that
no, but
wasn't
here's
that
my
bad.
thought process though. For real. He didn't have. That's crazy.
That was
I
crazy.
gotta move past
That
this
was
one.
crazy.
I'm gonna keep
Try to fight
talking.
past
I
it.
gotta keep talking. Hey, listen, I can't fight it.
I need to take another timeout.
But no, seriously, he didn't have a good QB
Where's
room either.
Schofield?
He didn't have a good QB room either. Like there's no development. You don't have a good QB room. We don't have a. I don't think Getsy was a good coordinator. I don't know who his QB coach was. But
Yeah,
it
just
didn't work out.
because. By the way, just because Luke Getsy got a job, don't mean that he was a good coordinator.
Doesn't mean that. It
Hey,
just
John
means-
Shoup got a job.
You know what that means?
after he left
Means that man's connected, has a network. In his
I mean,
there you
Fields,
go.
the thing is,
There you
Fields has improvement. We know that. And I think it's just, again, it is a victim of circus. I think you're 100% right, kid. If we did not have the number one pick, we would not be having this conversation about possibly moving on from Fields. But because you are in one of the most amazing situations ever, because you just did the ultimate, kingpin move by fleecing that team and then coming back and getting their number one pick. It's incredible. You took their receiver and their number one pick.
You can't do it.
That's
twice
nuts.
and be
Like,
wrong.
so, it is what it is. Either way, we're winning. I'm happy either way.
But
I
can we
mean,
thank Poles though? Poles actually gave him a fair shot.
We've been thanking Ryan Poles the whole time.
Yeah.
Ryan Poles gave him a fair
Yeah.
shot. He traded back when everyone said he probably should have took Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, which Bryce Young is.
Well, you knew he was never going to take. It was always going to be Jalen Carter. Oh, in Poles we trust. Hey, look at him.
Y'all getting the Birdman hand rub.
Birdman hand rub. This should fit me like a dang glove.
Oh, wait. I didn't get that ring. Go ahead.
Birdman
glasses
hand
for
rub.
me, dog. Look,
Birdman hand rub.
But no, it's and I think realistically, here's the bottom line, right? It's good to know that Justin Fields has the support of his teammates. It's good to know that Justin Fields has support in this locker room, and it's good to know that this locker room is willing to say, you know what, whatever direction we go, we're not going to stop fighting, because that was. I'll say this. And J-Mac has said this on the podcast, on the Chicago Bears podcast, so I don't mind bringing it here. And I talked with Greg Gabriel about it when he was the head of scouting, and he was in charge of basically, a big part of the drafting process for the Bears. One thing that really fractured the offense that we had was the front office pitted the locker room against Cedric Benson. They drafted Cedric Benson, what? Fourth overall? Yeah.
It was
Which
Cadillac
is insane.
Williams.
Running backs, flips the table. Sorry.
Son of a.
Yeah, son of a. You not lying.
No, that was Cadillac
But
Williams.
they draft. Oh, no, there's a lot of good players in that draft.
Who else?
We drafted
No, there was
running
like three. Ronnie Brown.
back. Yeah.
Ronnie Brown went to Miami.
Yeah, it's not draft
Cedric
running backs.
and Cadillac Williams. But
Yeah.
that was crazy about how they.
I got a
That
7th
Auburn
round
team
pick.
was cold.
But anyway, right? Like, so you because you drafted him.
You gotta play.
They all look. You got to play him,
You
right?
gotta
But
play
they're
him.
all looking, and they're going. You drafted a running back 4th overall. We got T. Jones.
You just signed Thomas
T. Jones just got signed. He's an amazing back. He's our guy. And what that did to the locker room was it pit one against the other, because Thomas Jones knew, I'm not going to be here.
I think didn't Urlacher and them kind of was like,
Everybody was like, this is not Thomas. Whenever they asked, it was like Thomas Jones is starting running back. He's our guy. And it's not that they didn't like Cedric Benson. It's not that they didn't help Cedric Benson, but you brought someone in that disrupted what was already being built there, and they felt like they had that. Where in the front office's mind, all they were doing was what was better for the team.
But see,
and that is something you have to take into account. So it's good for me to hear that, like, if somebody new comes in, it wouldn't be like, the front office all games, we up out here.
Yeah, but I think but it goes back to for the first time in a very, very long time, we are establishing an offensive identity with a scheme. What was the Bears scheme that they tried to run offensively back then?
Power run.
To a degree, but it was like, we got Mitchie Cricky, Rex Grossman as our quarterback.
Who? What was the name there? Mitchie Cricky?
Little Mitchie Cricky. Little guy. He's a little guy.
Oh, I thought you was trying to say Mitch Trubisky. I was like,
I didn't know what that
Little
was.
Mitchie Cricky. Yeah, anyway.
I thought he said a racial slur. I got nervous.
No,
I thought it was over. I was like,
Whoa.
what did he say?
No.
culture.
No.
You got to stop.
Please.
No.
Hey, I was like, we had a good run, boys.
I just,
been fun. We had a studio and everything. It was a great run.
And
Anyway,
then that one episode 300. Here goes.
No, I just think that for what. Everybody's saying Power Eye, they were supposed to run, right?
It was Power Eye, yeah.
But
That's what I said. Power Run, yeah. Power Eye, yeah.
So, okay, I guess to the point is like establishing what you wanted to run. Now, you created this division. That means that everybody was on the same page of what they're supposed to be doing, because it would make sense to have maybe 2 running backs, and in terms of the scheme.
Not
or
back then, though, really.
That's what I'm saying.
Think about back then, it was AP. It was right. You had the one back that was that.
It
guy.
was just identifying what
Yeah.
you plan to run, and this was going to be your bell cow, whatever. But you just signed this guy now, because if I'm correct, Thomas Jones.
T. Jones was up.
He ran 1,200.
T. Jones was up for a contract. That's why it was like, oh, you gonna get our guy out of here
because he ran. Oh, is that what it was?
He was up for a contract. Because remember, we went to the Super Bowl. Sadie B's on that team. We went to the Super Bowl.
I know he did. He said.
We went to the Super Bowl.
Well, they traded him after that, so it wasn't. He was still in the contract.
You know who else was on that team?
One more year.
You know who else was on that team? That Super Bowl team?
Which one?
Somebody that got inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Devin Hester.
Woo! That's a good transition.
Well, we were in the middle of a conversation.
Well, I was like,
hey, y'all about to go down this rabbit hole.
Like,
hey, listen, you get Joe on a rabbit hole.
I wasn't on a rabbit hole. I was just saying that
once we go past 2010, with 1990 to 2010, Joe goes deep, man. That's a wrap.
That's his bag. That's his bag. Hey, the greatest moment was when I was like, was when I told him George Halas' son ran your dig. He was like, George Halas ain't got no son.
Oh God, he just
won't. I was like, yes, he do.
He
Stop
could.
playing with me.
I know my beard. I know. He looked at it. He was like,
no. Hey, here's the thing. Joel said it so confidently. I was like,
maybe.
I swear he did. I literally like, did George Halas have a son? I don't know.
I meant it in the form of that he didn't give it to us.
You say anything 2006 around Joe, just be in for a conversation.
Yeah.
No, my point was that for a very long time, just really establishing offensive identity. And I think that now, even past the 06, 07 Bears, if we get to 2010, when we got Jay Cutler, there you go. From Jay Cutler, that's 09. From Jay Cutler on, what was our offensive identity? You know what I'm saying? They were trying too many things. That was the loving
I don't
period.
know what.
Wait. And then what happened?
And then what happened?
And then what happened?
Well, it's story time.
What?
No, I don't know.
Oh, wait.
What system did Tressman run?
I
don't think was he West Coast.
Hey,
he ran
did that on
something
purpose. Here we go.
He was.
No, not really, because he said after that, what was our offensive identity? And I'm like, I don't.
We
remember.
never had a true. We didn't stick to something of like what they wanted to run, and that we had it for a period of time.
Yeah.
It was always like March brought in the greatest show on turf. You had, like I said, the John Shoop years. You had, like you said, Tressman came here. He was fired, but his offense was cooking. It's just our defense was trash.
1 year.
No, it was.
We had a trash.
The offense was good. The defense was bad. We had the Mel Tucker year. They were transitioning from Urlacher and all those guys.
We had a trash defense, my boy. I'm probably
Canadian spread.
Probably from Canadian spread. It's crazy. It's that Canadian bacon.
Tippy toe offense.
Actually, you know what? Let's
probably from 13 to
whatever. J. Crit.
To what?
16?
6? No, probably from 13 to 18.
Because 17 we had a good defense.
Because after that we had Mel Tucker.
But 17 was a good defense.
No, 18 was a good defense.
18 was better, but 17 wasn't bad.
17 was bad. 17 was bad. It was a bad football team.
17 was bad.
17 was very bad. But no, man. We got to give our congratulations real quick as we get into this final topic. Appreciate y'all tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Got to congratulate the 3 Hall of Famers that made it. Steve Mongo McMichael's well overdue. Devin Hester, of course, we know what he is.
Yes.
And Julius Peppers, I count him. Shut up, Ringo. Real glad to have all 3 of them going into the Hall. I'm going to Canton. We all going to Canton?
Let's go to Canada.
I wouldn't mind.
I'm going for
That'd be a trip.
my trip might be free. I can't guarantee everybody's getting
but
that's how you feel.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
Look at the flex. Home of the Bears. But
stupid. Home of the Bears.
Home of the Bears. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm so glad that these 3 got in. I think that McMichael's well overdue. I think that's the Hall of Fame's probably biggest sin, not putting him in sooner when he could actually give a speech. But I love that he's actually gotten in. He should have been at 92.5 sacks. They didn't even count tackles. For all of his career, you don't see his solo tackles except the last year. He had 19 solo tackles his last year of his career. How many did he actually have? That's always my question. It's like
He was a monster.
it was just tackles.
He's
back then.
I think he's the number 2 or 3 all-time defensive tackle leader in sacks.
Yeah.
It's Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Your boy from Minnesota.
Jared Allen.
No, what's his name? What's his name from Minnesota? He's number 1. He always had the eye black everywhere.
Oh,
John Randall.
John
Randall was number
Yeah.
1. I think it's Aaron Donald, and I think he's 3.
for an interior offensive line.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
my
All right.
favorite. I was
What's up,
saying
Joe?
this. I was talking to Abdallah today on the Bears pod. My favorite story that I've heard, I think it was Wilbur Marshall said one day he had to slide over the middle linebacker, and that was the day he realized why Mike Singletary was getting all the sacks. Because Mongo just kept moving people out the way. He said it was like a heavenly light was shining on the quarterback. I couldn't help but sack him. Like it was so easy.
Just go in there.
It's just like
Go in there and get it.
all you had to do, go in there, grab him, put him on the ground. It was crazy. But no, I'm so glad Mongo's in it. Hester is. I'm glad it's over because I'm glad the debate is over.
What about him?
He really
getting-
wasn't
About
a
him
debate.
being a
It was
Hall of
just more
Famer or
of
not
win.
being a Hall of Famer.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like him getting in opens up the door for so many other people.
I don't think
though.
so because he's still the best. At
No,
what
you
he
got to
did.
be
That's what I'm
unique.
saying.
was
Like,
the
yeah, yeah,
best.
that's that what
He's
you do.
he's one of one because he literally changed the rules behind.
He did.
Yeah,
No,
nah,
no,
he did. Yeah, he did.
Once
What?
they
No, he
changed the
didn't.
rules,
No.
he was
Talking
his
about
career
a
was
kickoff
over.
return.
He did not. Let's not
He
be
didn't?
so.
So we're not gonna act like he didn't.
You know
aid
what? You know
that?
what changed the rules?
What?
Tells the truth. Tells the truth.
Will Smith?
That lawsuit came.
Oh,
That's what changed.
Yeah,
the
they
rules.
started because the concussions,
That
guys.
lawsuit came.
Okay, yeah,
concussions
yeah.
were
I did
coming
forget
in.
about that. You're right. You're absolutely right.
But what those rules changed, it eliminated his career.
Well, what the rule change did basically made teams go, oh, we ain't got to kick to him no more. No,
Yeah.
it must used to be scared, bro. They'd kick it, the wind would blow it back, and he'd catch it and run it back in.
for
Yeah.
those who are not as inclined as you all, how did that help his career? I mean,
What?
how did that hurt his career?
Because they moved the kickoff forward so that people
You
wouldn't
can't-
run into each other.
No one does
So they
kickoff
must just
returns.
started
So he
kicking
had
it
no
up.
he had no
Must
steam
started
going.
kicking it through.
Yeah,
the
there's
end
no
zone.
more kickoff returns.
No, it wasn't
like
that he didn't have no steam. Sometimes he wasn't able to return
Wasn't even able to
return
catch
the
it.
kick
Yeah.
because it was going past in the back of the end zone or through the
Well,
field
once
goal
you-
post.
Once you start at the 30 instead of the 20,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're already going into the back
Because
of
if
the
you
end
had
zone.
a kicker that didn't have enough leg, it'll fall.
But you know what's so
10
like
yards short.
I
Now
would-
you see it fall at the goal line almost every time if somebody don't got enough leg.
history time since we got to talk about before.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
But it made me think of
Where were you
other-
when Mongo was drafted?
I was
You
wasn't-
alive?
Yeah, you was alive.
I was alive.
Nah, maybe not.
No, it made me think of
76.
like other notable. Since you talked about other like returners, I thought about Josh Cribbs,
Josh
Yeah,
Cribbs,
Dante
yep,
Hall.
Cleveland Browns, yes
Yeah.
sir.
but they were good. But
But they
Hester
weren't the
was
best.
Hester was above all of those
Yeah,
guys.
he
He
just
Devin
had-
Hester raced the cheat.
Josh Cribbs was nice.
Cribbs, Hall, and somebody. There might have been another guy that was really good. Then
And-
they wasn't Tavon Austin. They wanted him to
he
be
was
that.
decent.
They wanted him to be that go-go gadget guy.
Hey, Tavon
Ted
Austin.
Ginn.
Ted Ginn.
Ted
Ted Ginn
Ginn.
Jr.
Junior.
Ted
who
Ginn
also
had a
played
few
for the Bears
good
and we
years.
cut him like a
He
week
wasn't
later.
consistent though, like Devin was.
Tavon Austin, he never had the career I wanted him to have. I swear, I don't care
Yeah,
what nobody
I
say.
agree with you.
That's the best college tape I've ever
West
seen in my
Virginia?
life. Tavon Austin was
Outside of
honest.
Deshaun Jackson,
I-
same
Nah, better than
college.
he was better than D-Jax. The only one I give some fight to is Reggie Bush.
No. Right.
Reggie Bush
Oh,
college
Reggie
tape
Bush
was
was
big.
highlight. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
Reggie-
Reggie Bush is at the top.
Well, see, he was disappointing because he was supposed to be more of the power. I mean, the lead back, and because he was special, they put him everywhere. They had him turning kicks.
Talking
and,
about Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie Bush.
Okay.
I mean, he's pretty good. I liked him. He won a
He was
Super Bowl.
okay.
But you know what's so amazing about Devin Hester too is that there were years, I believe, and I looked it
Eric
up. I think there was
Metcalf,
a
there you
year that they transitioned him to wide receiver, which technically
Yeah.
was his
He got
position.
17 more touchdowns.
He could have had a number of return kickoffs or touchdowns off returns if they would have just put him right where he should have been already. Like if they didn't try to, make him into this receiver that he wasn't. I think he only had one good year with Jay Cutler where he had over 700 yards. There was like 51 catches,
You know,
He
three
was a-
touchdowns.
but
like
you-
that.
but
he
that
was
was
an athlete.
You want to know something
He
wild
wasn't
though?
good.
'Cause
he was an athlete,
he
but they didn't use him right. They
he
took him
was.
away from his strengths.
He was
They
on,
did take him off kickoff a couple.
he was on the pivot, and he literally said the only reason why he felt like he didn't really excel in his career is because at every position they played him at, they took him off. He
Yeah,
played
they took him off a
quarterback
kickoff.
in college.
Yeah, he was a DB. I remember in Miami.
Hey, he wasn't supposed to be. No, he's supposed to return kick.
I think the problem was he was.
Y'all go back
he
and watch
never
that
got
college
the
tape.
They
and he was
used
a
him in
DB.
wildcat
Yeah,
formation.
he was a
They used
DB.
him all
I
over the
remember that
place.
he was a
Yeah.
DB. And he
He was
wasn't.
not good.
Yeah, he wasn't a good corner. He was an athlete, but he didn't have the hand balls, scheme, whatever, coordination to do either be receiver or cornerback. And the problem was they're like, well, because the problem is this is the
They
problem.
never gave him time
No.
in those positions, though.
This was the problem because of what he did. They didn't want to set the market because now they didn't have a market for kick returners for the contract.
Yeah,
The
they were
contractors would mess them
interchangeable.
up and put them in this situation where, like,
Hey Joe, they're like running backs now. They can be substituted out.
I mean, they always were.
Dime a
No, I'm
dozen.
just
I'm
messing
sorry,
with
y'all.
you.
That
I'm just messing with
y'all
you.
didn't
Put a
catch it.
quarterback
Hey,
back there if he fast enough. Like,
I
can he
messed.
catch it when it comes down?
I messed up. The
Guess what
chat.
Anthony
The
Richardson
chat
gonna
got
be.
me. I messed up.
Oh yeah, I heard it. I was gonna move past it. The chat called you out on it. I was gonna move past
I was like, dang it. And then I was like,
yeah,
ding,
yeah,
ding, ding.
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
right.
stop talking, but I can't.
That's crazy.
it. No, congrats to all the Hall of Famers who got in. I'm putting Pep in as a Bear. Pep had some great years here as a Bear. But he probably goes in, I would think, as a Panther.
Carolina, yeah.
And
Yeah, definitely Carolina.
I mean, Mongo's a shoe in. So congratulations to all of them. Can't wait to be down in Canton with you guys and reacting to what's going on there. Hopefully I get invited to some of these parties out here. I heard the parties.
Yeah, hopefully you let us be a plus
Stay
one.
away from the party.
Stay away from the party. I can't go.
Oh,
Hey,
tomorrow,
bro, do your thing,
tomorrow,
man.
so
You
tomorrow
go
we're gonna
do
do
your
a
thing.
Super Bowl
Just don't
picks and breakdowns of that.
Oh, yeah. We'll do all that
and
tomorrow. Super
we
Bowl
need to
picks,
break down the
breakdown, all
Super
that
Bowl
reaction.
rules too.
Super
Pat-
Bowl what?
The Super Bowl party rules too. The do's and don'ts.
Oh yeah, we do that every year. We do that every year. Super Bowl
No.
party rules. Come with your rules ready.
new to me.
Better bring a bottle.
Come with your rules ready, bro. Because it's some disrespectful people out there.
He was a Pro Bowler.
It's some
for Green
disrespectful
Bay.
people out there. But hey, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love as always. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid. Of course, the super producer Joel Holt,
What's happening?
Jordan JC, host of the Chicago Bears, Breeze, and the man formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan the Don. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love, Bird Don. Peace.